Next up is a writer who has appeared in Oak Square and other small press magazines, Pagan Kennedy.
Hi, I'm going to read a couple of really short stories, which is what I've been doing lately. I'm kind of working on a little collection of very short stories, which I think will be called something like Pagan's Nursery Rhymes for Schizophrenic Children. This one's called Betty's Head. I start kicking a head I found somewhere in the house against the garage door. The first 2 times I kick it, it leaves a round red mark, plops to the ground, and then rolls right back to my foot. But the 3rd time it rolls sideways into the grass. When I go to get it, it's looking up at me, and suddenly I remember everything. This isn't just any head, it's Betty's head. When I was a child, Betty was my best friend. I hadn't seen her in years, but one day she came by my house and said she had been born again. She kissed me on the cheek and told me Jesus loved me. She said she was going off to live with the others in a big white building that sparkles in the sunlight. To demonstrate her faith, she wanted to arrive there with her head already off. That's why she had come, to leave her head with me, in case she should ever need it, although she made this seem doubtful. I can't remember whether she had to cut it off or whether she just pulled it off. All I remember is watching her, with just a bandaged stump for a neck, getting into her car and driving away, and me, with her head in my arms, thinking, God damn you, Betty, God damn you, for I had no room in my life for Betty's head. Now I remember, too, the instructions she had written down before she left. Keep it on a throne of ice, feed it lotus flowers and rice. For some reason, I hadn't made any attempt to follow these instructions after she gave me the head, but instead had put it in a closet. I am considering whether I should try to follow the instructions now, but when I look down at the head again, there are only a few dents in it, but they are pretty deep, and in places the maggoty-looking stuff inside Betty's head is coming out. I cradle the head in my arms. I don't think it can hear me, but I tell it how sorry I am. One tear is rolling out of one of its closed eyes, and inside the tear I see a picture. I see myself at about 10 kicking a ball against the garage door, while Betty, sitting on the grass, sitting on this very spot I am standing, says, when I grow up, I'm never going to smoke cigarettes, I'm never going to drink, and I'm never going to believe in God. This one's called My Birthday. I'm on vacation by the seashore with my parents. There is someone else with us, too, who is a stranger to me. I am not told why he is with us. Perhaps he is a business partner of my father's. In the evening, my mother comes into my room, and even though it is the day before my birthday, she says she is going to give me my present. She closes the door and draws the blinds, and then takes it out of her purse. It is a stick of lipstick. She shows me how to twist it so that the red head appears, a secret, she says, that has been handed down from woman to woman since time began. She holds out the lipstick and I am forced to take it into my hand. It is cool and smooth and heavier than I expected. I am disgusted even at the thought that I am touching it. I can tell she wants me to put it on. She wants to watch me sit on the stool in front of the dresser and lean close to the mirror. To twist the case so that only the tip appears, as she has taught me. To run the red over my spread lips. To leave a kiss mark on a tissue. Instead, I open a drawer of the dresser and lay the lipstick down inside it, as if I am putting it to bed. Already I am planning to leave it in that drawer when we check out, and if she asks me where it is, to say I forgot it. I do not want to become soiled as my Wait a second, I forgot. Did I read? It is the day before my 14th birthday, the birthday on which I will become a woman. Did I read that? I skipped that. Okay, well, just pretend that was the beginning. That night, when it is time for me to go to bed, I give each of my parents a peck on the cheek, and my father says, "This is the last time you will kiss us as a child." The stranger is with us, and because of the way my parents are watching me, I know that they want me to hug him goodnight, but all I do is nod to him. Midnight, my birthday, is only a few minutes away. I know this from the clock on the dresser, which sits next to the mirror. In the mirror, the clock is running backwards. I wish that clock were mine, a clock that would send me back where I have been. I open the blinds and look out. All is frozen in the moonlight except for the heaving sea, laying its filigree on the sand and whispering a word over and over again. The sea is a clock, and the word that it whispers is the foulest thing I've ever heard. The way some animals become hypnotized by headlights and freeze in the middle of the road, I am frozen by the presence of the lipstick in its dark drawer. That must be why, when I see the clock turning midnight and try to cross the room to lock the door, I can only walk as if underwater. And so it is, I am stuck in the middle of the room when the handle begins slowly turning. This one's called Mother Ganges. Deep asleep in India, a man is dreaming that I am filling a bowl with fruit for him, in the center of which I place the golden apple. As I hold the bowl to the dreaming man, my hands tremble, and the golden apple rolls from its place, falls to the ground, and bounces down the old stone steps and into the dark, perfumed waters of the Ganges. The golden apple was that man's. My hands trembled, and now it is lost under the flowers that float on the water, lost deep down in the mud of Mother Ganges. And this is the last one. It's called Debt. I had a rabbit so faithful that everywhere I went, that rabbit was sure to go. One day, I had walked into town, and when I turned around, that rabbit was behind me. Her ears were dragging on the ground, and one of her paws was bloody. She was half dead, but she was looking up at me with this look that said she loved me still, even though it was my fault. I had forgotten to close her cage before I left home. If her cage was open, she couldn't help herself. She had to follow me. I felt so bad, I decided to spend all the money I had in my pocket on her, and that was quite a sum, because someone had just paid off a debt to me. I hid the rabbit under my shirt and went into the supermarket. I spent hours trying to buy presents for her that would cost exactly all the money I had. Finally, I came out with a bottle of very nice wine and a jar of caviar. I sat down on the grass and took the rabbit out from under my shirt. Maybe she hadn't been able to breathe, because she had become full of holes, spongy, like a piece of cake. I couldn't tell if she was alive. I took a piece of paper out of my pocket, unfolded it, and set her down on top of it in case she should crumble. I got up to call the doctor, but already she was melting into the paper. She melted unevenly, leaving marks on the paper. I realized that these marks were letters. The letters said, I owe you. Thank you.